Hello everyone, my name is Vishwagur and today we will be presenting the course project 3. So it is basically we have to do the same course project which we did in course in MySQL, and we in the project 3 we will doing the same things but using the Redis, which is a memory database. It will be used as a to for a caching and to store the short term to store the data for the short time. So for that, we have created a Docker file, and in which uh, we have created a two containers. But one is a Redis containers and the other is a PHP container, and we activated a service in the Docker YML file. And after that we have this source folder in which we have all the our php files, and this is the mysql to redis python file where we used this file to take all the data from the mysql and load it into the redis. So this is our uh, basic structure for our course project 3, that we have just extract the data from MySQL from the course project 2 and load into the Redis. And this is our year diagram from the course project 2. We have used the same diagram as we are taking the same data from the previous project. So this is key entities like dependent, employee, project, department locations, and projects and departments have many to many relationship between them with the works on table. So this is our ER diagram, and let's start with the main project. So first we will take first we will take data from the MySQL and load into the Redis container. So so though it is a virtual machine and I cannot directly access my Python file from the root, so I have to create one virtual environment to run my Python file. So first we will be creating that, but before creating that I would like to show you the file. How is that basic? So it is just a basic file to connect Redis and MySQL. It will create a bridge between two and convert data type like data type to string and decimal data type to float data type, and connect these two containers and fetch all the datas. So let's start with that. So let's start creating. Okay, now just so now we have activated our environment, and to run the Python file, we need to uh, build the both container like MySQL and Redis. So we will build those two container. So now we have started our MySQL container. Now we are gonna start a Redis container. So now we have created our Redis container and PHP container. Now in my environment, we will run our Python file.
You need to go to the place where the Python
Oh
file
yeah,
exists.
yeah. Right. I'm sorry. So we have saved that into the quiz project 3. Okay. Okay. So now after fetching all the data from the MySQL, it will load into the Redis and it says that the data loaded into Redis successfully. So now we can check that. So here I'm gonna start the Redis container, which is so we are in the Redis environment, Redis container. So we can check that with the ping command. So if I do ping, it will reply ping. So it means our Redis is like working properly. Now we will check if I want to check the data from the employee table. So it has successfully loaded all the SSN numbers. So as you can see here, like for the table, like from the employee table, it will get the primary key, which is the SSN number, and fetch all the SSN number from that, and it will be our main key for the Redis. So it this is the main key for our employee key, and in that key it will create another, it will load every data. So uh, is like if we so employee and the SSN number is like the main key, just as a primary key in the MySQL, and in that key it will store all other data as its feature. So when I try to get the data from the SSN number, it will give me the data related to that SSN number, which is stored in the employee key. So like first name, middle name, initial, last name, its SSN, birth date, and everything else. So this is how our Redis and our containers we have built from the course project 3. So basically it will take all the data, so all the data from the MySQL, and it will load into the Redis via its key, and that is the presentation of our Redis. So for the now PHP, it I will pass to the Shivam. He will explain about it.
Okay, so Vishwa, if you can like go to the local host and like start demonstrating the PHP
Yeah,
which
of
we have
course.
created. So basically, when Vishwa does that, let me just talk brief about what were the changes. So basically, the course project 3 was based on course project 2. So the PHP pages were already built, but they were like backed up by MySQL database instead of the Redis, which we have used in course project 3. So here, the UI would be pretty much the same one, but I after like the demonstration, I'll just gonna briefly like go through the code on what we have changed, just so you'll be getting better idea on how things are getting fetched. Because MySQL is like the traditional database in which everything is like in rows and columns, but in Redis the structure is a bit different, in which it is stored more as a key value pair instead of like a traditional database. So yeah, so this would be my first PHP page in which the SSN number are getting fetched from the Redis database, and when you click on one of them, it will be able to show all the results based on that specific employee. So, Vishwa, if you can go ahead and pull out the index.php page, just so I can like talk more about the code on what changes which we have done. Okay, yeah, so that's perfect. So here, as you can see that we have created a Redis object, and in that we have used the 6379 port on the basis of which it is like able to do the connection. Now, the thing is, as Vishwa talked earlier, that we have an employee colon and the number as a key in which all the data is getting stored, and ultimately we are like, so basically it is like an object in an object. So when we are like writing employee and then f name, it will be able to get the name of that specific employee whose SSN that is. So we have done pretty much the same thing, in which we have created a key based on that, and ultimately we are fetching all the data by matching the same employee with all the employee data or all the SSN number which we have in our Redis database. Um, we can go on to the next one, which is p2.phpf, which you want to go ahead and run that in the local host. Okay, so this one is pretty straightforward, in which the inputs are taken for the department number. So we have like 5 to 6 different departments, and we just have to mention. And when we click on the get employee details, it gives us all the uh, people who are working for that specific department with their salaries. So again, same thing is happening, but it's just that, as you can see, that in the URL. Vishwa, if you can go back and just point it to
Okay.
the URL, we are sending the department number 5, just so it will be able to know in the Redis database on what department number are we trying to match. And that way it is like able to fetch that specific department number and the employees working in that. Okay, we can move on to the third one, which is company browse, I want to say.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So this is the last exercise, which is in course project 3, and which we have like pretty much mentioned each department with its department number. And when you are clicking that department number, it is giving you all the information which is required by that for that department, which is like on where from where it is operated, who are the members, and what are the projects there that they are working on. So it is like again, same thing is happening, that we are like able to get the information when we are clicking to the department number. So we are basically matching that specific department number with all the department numbers which we have in Redis. And one another functionality on this specific page is that when we are clicking on that SSN number, it will be showing all the details, which was initially like P1, like P1.php, or the first exercise which we did, in which when given a specific SSN number, it is like able to fetch all the data regarding that employee from the Redis. So yeah, this was pretty much all the exercise which were related to this. Redis is like an in-memory database, and it is like completely different from what we have learned in MySQL. So there were like challenges on how to import all the data from MySQL to Redis, but we were like able to achieve that, and that is how we were like able to complete the whole project. So yeah, that would be pretty much it, and thank you so much.
Thank you.